How's everyone doing? Happy Friday the 13th, and it's actually a beautiful day here in New Jersey, 81 degrees. Tomorrow's supposed to be 81 also, and then the next day, high of 45. Awesome, Mother Nature. But on another happy Friday the 13th note, I got a package in the mail. It's a pretty big, heavy box, and I know I've ordered a couple things recently, so I'm not 100% sure what's in this box, but we're going to go ahead and open it and see. And if you've seen any of the movies in this box, definitely let me know what you think of them. And once I go through the whole box, let me know what your favorite item is, because I think there's a bunch in here. It certainly feels that way. Alright, let's go ahead and open this bad boy up. Hercules! Hercules! Alright, ooh, bubble wrap. That's always appreciated. A lot of stuff in bubble wrap. Maybe I should do this like one at a time, kind of deal, because it could be a surprise to me and to you all at once. Alright, okay, I know exactly what this is now. In fact, I will go ahead and pick it. Well, let's see how they did this. Yeah, they did. Okay, cool. So they did it, this one person was selling a bunch of movies in lots, essentially, and amazing deals. I'm actually surprised that they didn't get way more than what they did. So let me just go ahead and separate them by lots. Now I know what it is, because I saw the first thing and I immediately knew. But so souped on this. Amazing deals. Sometimes you just gotta look. One of the things fell out of the slipcase. But sometimes you just gotta look for the deals, and you can find them. You know, there's so many things on my wish list, but I kind of wait a little bit till I can find a deal. That's my MO, my modus operandi. And let's go ahead and take the final stuff out of the bubble wrap. I definitely appreciate any bubble wrap like that. So big ups to you, person that I got this from. And alright, I think that's all separated out. But the first lot that he was selling was a Jim Carrey lot right there. And I have two of these already. But he was selling them as a lot, so I was like, all right, I'll go ahead and put that up to the side. But I'll go ahead and pick it up because it was essentially like $4 a title. So I couldn't pass that up, especially since there was a few ones that I wanted to get, including Liar Liar with the slipcover, the 1990s decade slipcover, which I love these slipcovers right there, going through a whole bunch of, you know, what's on TV, radio, pop culture at the movies. There's the dude right there. So I love this film. Absolutely hilarious. I remember the court scenes and him beating himself up in the bathroom. I love the cast in here too. Jennifer Tilly was excellent. But love this one. Such a fun movie. I really enjoyed Jim Carrey back in the day. In Living Color, his skits on there, Pork and Beans. But great comedic actor, and he can play other roles as well, which I will show momentarily. Next up, the other ones that I wanted to get were this one right here, Bruce Almighty, which is a lot of fun. Really enjoyed it. And this was reissued a couple times, and the new cover is awful. I know they did the same thing with like the Adam Sandler movies where they reissued it with just him, his face taking up like the whole cover. They did the same thing with Jim Carrey, which just his face on the cover. I just think that looks hideous. No offense to Jim Carrey, but you know, I want something front, like this is a perfect representation of the movie right there. And this is just a wild, outlandish movie. Morgan Freeman is God. Jennifer Aniston in here. Just a really entertaining one, and I didn't have it in my collection. I wanted to get this one for a while. I love the heck out of it. And it's funny, too, because some of the Jim Carrey movies have gone out of print, like the first two Ace Ventura movies. And I see people asking, like, ridiculous prices for those, and nobody's paying ridiculous prices for them, by the way. I saw, like, somebody was asking, like, $50 for both of them, and, you know, $30 a piece. I'm like, no. People are buying them for, like, $10 a pop. In fact, there's a double feature one that I think goes for like 17, 18 bucks. There's one in the UK and I think the US as well, or maybe it's a Canadian one, but I know there's one in the UK for sure. But the double feature ones, you know, why are you going to pay? I personally prefer when they're you know, issued like this, one you know, sole instead of a combo pack like that. Standalone release. There you go. But yeah, this is funny. I remember the bathroom scene too. Love the heck out of this one. So happy to pick that up. Next up is Yes Man with the slipcover. I'm not a big Zooey Deschanel fan. She plays the same role in everything she's in. I think she's attractive and I like the quirkiness, but it's like the same role, like the, oh, cute nerdy chick. And then the New Girl show, I can't stand that show. She's like the least interesting character on her own show. Thank goodness that show's finally ending. That was on like I don't know how many seasons there were, but that many seasons too long. But yeah, this one to me, I remember seeing it and just thinking it just went a bit too over the top, too overboard. He was basically somebody that was very, kind of says no to everything and conservative, and then suddenly he has to say yes to everything, and he's doing all kinds of outlandish, ridiculous things that he wouldn't normally do. And this has some exclusive special features too on here. So I want to revisit this one because I liked a lot of the aspects for it, but I just thought it just went too over the top. But I guess it kind of has to drive the point home. But there we go, nice slipcover for it, which I never see the slipcover for this, so I was happy to pick that up. Next up is Me, Myself, and Irene, which I love this freaking movie. I actually have this on, I got it from Blockbuster. I never got a Blu-ray replacement case, so it's still in like the Blockbuster case. I think a lot of people weren't aware that you can actually take the paper insert, which is just this, the sleeve, and put it into a Blu-ray replacement case. But this, I think he has like multiple personalities, but he's basically someone who gets just walked all over his whole life, and is he like a state trooper or something like that? And then suddenly he has this other personality that comes out and is just outlandish. A little extra cream on the taco, the whole thing in the grocery store. I thought that was, I love this film. So outrageous, and just Jim Carrey in his prime, Renee Zellweger in here too. A lot of other recognizable people in this one. I'm trying to, Chris Cooper, some other people too that I can't recall right now off the top of my head, but yeah, love this one. So I do have the one in the Blockbuster case. If anybody's interested, all you need is a Blu-ray replacement case, and you'll never know it came from Blockbuster. So let me know if you want to do a trade for that. Next up is Truman Show, which I also already have, but I want to check to see if the cover, because I think the cover I have, it might be different than this one. I know this is one that was reissued. I know for a while it was like out of print and going for crazy money, and then it came back in, or they reissued it, and that's the thing too. Like, I always wait when something goes out of print to see if it'll be reissued. I'm not gonna pay outlandish money for some of that stuff. It's craziness. But this is an example of Jim Carrey playing a more dramatic role, which he's done very well, in fact, and kind of surprising. This one has a lot of comedic aspects to it, but I really enjoyed the heck out of this film. This might be, well, Dumb and Dumber is like one of my all-time favorite comedies. You can't not laugh at that film. Can't help but to laugh throughout the whole parts. The explosion toilet scene is probably my favorite part, but this would probably be my second favorite movie from Jim Carrey. Let me know what your favorite Jim Carrey movie is, and or besides Dumb, I feel like a lot of people would pick that, or the Ace Ventura ones, but I'd pick this over the Ace Ventura ones. But yeah, I love the cast in here too. Laura Linney, Ed Harris, I believe he's on the back. It's funny, I don't see his name coming up on the cast right there, which is surprising. Directed by Peter Weir. But yeah, basically he finds out that his whole life has been filmed. I love that concept as well. Amazing film. But he was also in The Majestic. He did, was it number 23, which is more of like a horror-esque kind of movie. I wasn't a huge fan. I like the concept of it, but I wasn't a huge fan of it. But The Majestic was really good too. Next up is a double feature, Dumb and Dumber and The Mask. And one thing that I liked about this one is it has separate discs for both. I already have Dumb and Dumber, but I didn't have The Mask. And I remember, honestly, I watched it when it first came out as a kid, and I remember being kind of cringy, but I wanted to revisit it. And the fact that it came in this, lot that they were selling, especially with its standalone disc like that, I was like, all right, sure. So that was a nice extra bonus. And then let's go ahead and separate this into some of the deals that they had. And there's some 4K titles. There's a 4K Steelbook Best Buy exclusive. There's some Criterions. But I want to show you some of the deals first, because some of the deals were crazy good, including these two right here, which were $4.99 a piece. Blown away. 4K titles for $4.99 a piece. And it's funny, I had a recent video showing 4K of The Last Jedi, and I had a lot of negative comments, all from the same person. I totally called that person out, and they just got quiet. From Australia, they're like, oh, the 4K, those are bargain bin titles now. They don't make 4K anymore. Maybe in Australia they don't, and I'm sorry to hear that for you guys over there down under. But they do here in the U.S. Basically every big popular mainstream movie gets a 4K release, and they're going through the catalog titles and releasing a lot on 4K as well. Forrest Gump's coming out with basically any movie that you can think of that was mainstream and popular getting 4K titles. So they're definitely doing well sale-wise as well. So if you're being brainwashed over there, and it's funny though because that person. I noticed right away that it was the same person because they left a comment saying, oh, they're bargain bin titles. 4K is done. And then like a minute later, there was another account insulting me and saying basically the same thing. And then there was another account saying the same thing. And then I noticed they're all posting the same exact videos. And I looked on their pages, they all follow each other, like the only people they follow. And I'm like, doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure that out. Anyways, I digress. A little mini rant there. But I just think it's funny how stupid trolls are, and people who are negative, it shows. It's so overt. Like when you make negative comments like that, you're saying definitely way more about yourself than you probably realize. But usually trolls who leave comments that are negative, they're people who are unhappy with themselves or have some kind of mental health issue. And that's, you just gotta laugh it off and kind of feel bad for them in a way. I digress again, but back to this, $4.99 for each of these. I do have Life already, so if anybody, my slip cover is a little bit dinged in the corner, so I'm going to nab this slip cover. But if anyone wants to do a trade or wants to buy Life on 4K, let me know. I thought this looked stunning and amazing. The ending, though, I thought that ending was just too formulaic, too predictable. I love the cast in here. Great cast, Jake Gyllenhaal, Ryan Reynolds. I'm trying to remember some of the other people in here. There was a few other recognizable people, but they're in a space station. They take in an alien life form and it gets out of control. And I've seen that concept before. There's one with like Christian Slater it wasn't a big blockbuster movie like this, but it was a very similar concept. And this was just on a bigger scale. Again, it looked stunning. It looks really good in 4K from what I remember checking out. One of the early ones that I remember seeing in 4K. So yeah, good sci-fi thriller movie. Yeah, let me know if you're interested in doing a trade or purchasing that one, since I already have it. For that price point, I couldn't pass it up. Next up is the Kingsman, which I've never seen either Kingsman movies, but I got the second one through one of those Red Box of Mystery from Fox. So I was like asking a lot of people, do you think I should watch this one without seeing the first one? And basically the response was no, wait to see the first one, then watch the second one. So I think you could probably do it as a standalone, but I guess there are certain things that tie together from what I've researched. But yeah, the Kingsman Secret Service, I've heard rave reviews for it. And the thing, I don't believe this actually came with the slipcover. The second one did. I think most 4K titles now come with the slipcover, but I'm kind of bummed that this one didn't, as far as I'm aware anyways. But yeah, I just know it's like, I don't know, a modern kind of young James Bond-esque kind of thing, and all kinds of crazy over-the-top action sequences and spy stuff. The synopsis for this is like so tiny though, like all this other stuff, and then the synopsis is like, it's like the disclaimer notice on anything you buy. But yeah, good cast here: Colin Firth, Michael Caine, Samuel L. Jackson, aka the guy who's in everything. Trying to basically twisted tech genius, phenomenal cast. All right, action-packed thriller. Not much of a synopsis here, but it's a Secret Service organization. And yeah, recruits unrefined but promising street kid. Okay, so it's going to be over-the-top action. That's what I'm expecting. But yeah, $4.99 a pop, which was friggin' awesome. And then Criterion's for $9.99 a pop right there. So friggin' souped. I do have this on DVD already. So if anyone wants to do a trade or wants to buy the DVD of Godard's Breathless, Jean-Luc Godard, from me, let me know. And this was actually written by Truffaut. I haven't seen this in a long time, but I remember this was like one of those early like French New Wave, like one of the very first French films that I saw way back in the day. So looking forward to revisiting this on Blu-ray. And I dig the spine right there as well. But a classic black and white film, short film, 90 minutes on here actually. But yeah, this was an all-time classic French cinema, New Wave, and a ton of special features on here. And I love the slipcase with the book right there. So very nice. I dig the heck out of that. Really beautiful release. Criterion Collection always does an amazing job. Oh, I think it's better to put that in there like it was for the book. But I'm definitely excited for this upgrade, especially for the price point. I was like 4Ks for $4.99 and Criterion Blu-rays for $9.99. Heck yes. And this is a double feature, Leggett and Sans Soleil. Leggett is a short film, 27 minutes, and it inspired Terry Gilliam's 12 Monkeys. So that is exciting. I love sci-fi. I love 12 Monkeys. I thought it was an amazing film. So yeah, it's that's a sci-fi film. I think he's supposedly the guy was like reliving memories from World War III by looking at pictures of his life or something like that. And the second one is San Solio, which is 103 minutes. And I think this one's basically narrating images from Journey to Africa and Japan. So that sounds pretty interesting as well. So there you go. Those are ones I haven't seen. I'm definitely looking forward to checking out. And another one that I haven't seen on Criterion, 2 Days, 1 Night. And this is from 2014, but I think this only got a Blu-ray release maybe last year. Oscar winner Marion Cotillard, she got I guess a nomination in here too. And she's a wife and mother suffering from depression, discovers that while she was home on sick leave, the majority of her coworkers voted in favor of her being laid off over giving up their annual bonuses. Woo, that is rough. So she spends Saturday and Sunday visiting them, each in turn to try and convince them to change their minds. I love that idea, that concept. I love depressing movies too. But from the simple premise, they create powerful, humane drama. And yeah, that sounds importance of community increasingly in personal world. I love that. That's completely true. When I was growing up, everybody knew their neighbors. In this day and age, everybody kind of keeps to themselves, which is such a shame. I love that sense of community. But anyways, let's get into the rest of these. Next up is Goosebumps. This is the 3D Blu-ray DVD digital HD combo pack with a beautiful lenticular slipcover. I have not seen this one. It looked a little goofy, but I do enjoy the cast in here. Jack Black. Let me know what your favorite Jack Black movie is. It's not going to be Shallow Hal for me, but I do think that one's a cheesy, fun one, which I think that Blu-ray might be out of print too, but I'm not paying too much for that. But I really liked him in High Fidelity. I thought that was his performance in there was awesome. I'm trying to remember who else was in here. I know the young actor. I really like him. The movies that I've seen him in. I'm trying to remember. Oh, he was from 13 Reasons Why, right? The Netflix. Pretty sure that's him. It looks like him. I can't remember his name right now. Dylan Minnette, I think, but I'm pretty sure that's him right there. Which 13 Reasons Why just blew me the heck away. I can't wait for season 2 of that. I binge watched that really quick. But yeah, I guess it's basically jumping into the Goosebumps world, which was a really popular book series when I was a kid, R.L. Stine. So let me know what your favorite Goosebumps storyline was. This Blu-ray has an alternate opening and ending. So a bunch of cool special features on there. And I love that slipcover. And next up is some 4K titles, which again were reasonably priced. It, which I haven't owned this one, so I'm definitely happy to add this one to my collection. Let me know which you prefer, the old school It with Curry and or the new one right here. I feel like this you can't really compare the two because the other one has the full storyline, then as kids and as adults. This one they kind of broke it up, and I kind of like that idea. A lot of people hated it, but it's kind of hard to compare the two. There's some definitely darker scenes in this one, especially the pulling through scene. But yeah, this one I thought the cast, the kids, they did a way better job than I was expecting. I remember seeing the trailers and the shots and early on in production, I just wasn't really into it, and I think they did a much better job than I was expecting. I like the Pennywise look. It's much different than I initially. It's kind of hard to compare to the old school to the new school. You can appreciate both of them in different ways. Let me know again which you prefer, the aspects that you prefer them of. Next up is Spider-Man Homecoming, which I remember seeing it when it came out. I wasn't like a huge fan. I thought it was a little bit overhyped, but then again, like every superhero comic book movie is overhyped, in my opinion anyways. But yeah, I'm going to rewatch this one for the price point. I couldn't pass it up. So I do like that slipcover a lot too. Revisit it, give it another chance. The next up, brand new, still sealed, is the 4K Steelbook, which looks to be debossed for the title for Thor Ragnarok, which I thought was a really fun movie. I like the gladiator scene with the Hulk. Jeff Goldblum, which I'm pretty sure Jeff Goldblum is that kind of wacky, kind of offbeat. I think he's really like that in real life. I just picture his everyday life is like that. But I love the cast in here. I thought this was just probably my favorite Thor movie too. Let me know what your favorite Thor movie is. But definitely really enjoyable, action-packed, great comic book movie. Everything you want it to be. And I'll probably do an unboxing for this one because this is a really nice looking Steelbook. And again, I love that I was able to get this for a reasonable price because people are putting these up on eBay. A lot of the ones on Best Buy, they go out of print and people just jack up the prices. Like my Best Buy, I feel like they only get like 3 every time of these exclusive Steelbooks. So yeah, pre-order them if you can. Pick them up and like immediately because they go out of print, and I feel like each store gets a limited number of them. And sometimes I feel like people just grab them all up to resell them, which is such a shame. But super happy to pick this up. So there you go. That was the lot, which again, I got some amazing deals in here. So very, very happy. Let me know if you've seen any of these films and what you think of them right there, and which was your favorite pickup from this haul. Leave me a comment or a video response down below. Hope everybody's doing well. Take care.